Hello everyone, No Respawns here. Hope you're doing well. Happy December and happy last month of this decade, which is all very exciting. So this is going to be a small video for you today. So I'm between builds on this character. So this is my my main building character, so not my main character. And I found with this guy, because he spends all of his time basically building a base, tearing it down, and then not really playing on him very much, because obviously I play mostly on my main dude. I found that he usually didn't have a decent base to use in the kind of an interim. So I thought this would be a nice excuse, as I just tore down a base, to make a stopgap base, which is kind of like a new blueprint base that I can just quickly slap down, always looks the same, and always has my amenities. This has actually been a handy learning experience, because I've learned what does and doesn't work vis-a-vis the blueprint, so I can pass that information on you as well. So basically, this is the structure I want to build. However, you may notice, it doesn't let me place it. And it took me a while, I mean actually not too long, but I figured out what the issue was. So this, as you can see right here, it has a staircase and also has pillars. And I love the pillars. They make for really, really nice looking structures. Just makes the whole thing a lot more complete. Unfortunately, when they're in a blueprint, they count as floating, so it won't let you place them. And it's absolute ball ache. You can place certain ones down, but when they're on the outside like this, it's a big no-no. And also staircases tend to be a little bit of a ball ache. However, as you can see from this one, it's perfectly fine. So what I do is I'm going to show you how to build this nice little cool structure. We're going to do a little bit of decorating, and then I'm going to relocate my camp, and we're going to place down my blueprinted bases. This, again, will be a nice quick one, too. So yeah, I wanted something kind of quick and easy that I can just kind of slap down and kind of have a setup. It's inspired a little bit by, if you play enough, you've probably seen people doing camps like this. Those little kind of pop-up vendor camps that people have. So you have people who usually don't actually have an actual base. They basically just have a shop. Sort of inspired by that. I'm going to move that a little bit to the side, because I won't be able to place anything down otherwise. I could... and I will possibly do in a future video, use things like, I could use the backwards bungalow here, which would obviously be, something quick. However, I want to build something and not just, And also, not many of you actually have that, so I want to actually make something rather than just cheat and use a pre-existing structure. Though, admittedly, that would be quite cool. So, again, big tip or big kind of best practice with these is to just don't use the staircase tab. It's just probably easier, because that way nothing's going to count as floating. But other than that, you just have fun, really. But I'm going to make this little structure. The cool thing is this one I'm going to be using, as I have been using now for the last video or so, the wallpapers that come with all of the buildings now, all of the walls, which are grand. And for those of you watching this video on the day it drops on the 2nd, there is actually one available in the Atom store. So let me just show you quickly. So I've got loads of the wallpapers now. This one is available. So if you want to have a wallpaper that's completely free, you can get this one in the Atom store. However, I'm not going to use that one because it's not the one I want to use. So I've got a nice little structure planned. One thing to note with the blueprints as well is, oopsie, you don't actually, let me take that off, please. Oh, I've got fucking wrong tab, that's right. You don't actually have much in the way of build limit, so it's worth noting that you do actually have a budget with the blueprints, so you want to bear that in mind, and also you don't want to make them too complex, because, again, then things start counting as floating, and it's a whole ball ache. So I'm going to kind of quickly whip this up. I built it dozens of times now, so I kind of, you can see I'm not even paying attention. I'm just going like, yeah, that goes there. And then, yes, and then we're going to go over to a different location after I've decorated a bit, and then we'll see how it functions as something I can actually slap down. When you're putting the roof on here, by the way, because I'm going to do a whole little thing here, you start with the roof and go downwards, because I'm going to have some, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Because a lot of people sometimes do stuff like this and they don't think it snaps in. They're like, oh, why? So I'm putting it here, right here, like this. Yeah. And I'm putting... Where is it? That one. That one. That one? Here. Get in there, you shit. That one. There we go. So I'm putting that out there like that because I want a bit of a contrast. However, you can't actually just... What if I take that off? Oh, okay, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't snap that in, is what I'm saying. But for some reason, it let me snap it in there. So I'm just a liar. I'm just a liar, basically. You can snap that in. I just wanted to trick you. into thinking you couldn't. No, you can. Right, so... this is way quicker without the pillars. When I did it with the pillars, this was like a 15-minute build, because I had to, like, build a little staircase and everything. But, without the pillars, really, really quick. So, yeah, sweet, I guess. So I'm going to use... I quite like this. I'm still getting used to these wallpapers, and I still want them to give us new roofs. However, because we don't have many decent roofs, I've started playing around with different textures, and I kind of landed on this one, which I quite like. So, which is mixing the red barn pieces with the wood and I said wooden, really weird then, the wooden pieces, and it looks quite nice. It's quite grand, the contrast, and it kind of blends in nicely, so I'm expect to see this design in a little bit more advanced structures later down the line. So this is my kind of core structure. Now, in terms of like how much build limit this takes up, in terms of the thing, it takes about that much. Sometimes it might have accidentally missed out some bits, but generally speaking, yeah, about half. Now, I don't want to make it too complex, so we're going to just add a few bits and pieces, a few quality of life stuff that I'm going to be able to use, and then the rest of the stuff I'm going to slap on. Because often, I guess, when you're kind of like, it's kind of a psychological thing, isn't it, as well? Let me place that down, you shitbag. It's kind of a psychological thing, isn't it? Like, you often kind of think, oh, you know, I don't want to build something. If you want to, if you're using just a temporary base, it's often you just slap a tent down and maybe put a bed underneath it. Whereas I wanted something which just feels a little bit more complete. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a vendor in here. Because initially this was actually going to be like a pop-up vendor store, which you could hypothetically do. Instead of having the beds, which I'm going to pop in here, you could just turn this into a kind of a shop, basically. But I'm not going to do that, because that's crazy talk. It's not crazy talk, I just don't want to yet. Right. So annoyingly, and how I discovered about the pillars thing, was I originally had built this in my last base, as a kind of, I'm going to show off my last base a bit, and also build something there kind of thing. It was when I was in the ash heap and I had that nice little restaurant. Because, you know, it's a cool little build and I wanted to show it off to the people who'd missed it. And it was then afterwards, because I didn't test out the blueprint to see if it worked. I then moved to this location, was like, cool, guys, I'm going to place down the thing now, and it wouldn't work, so I had to restart the video again. So I'm a bit heartbroken about that. Also, I did like the pillars, but it still looks nice. The one good thing about not having the pillars, actually, is I have a little bit more build budget, which is handy. So, you know, it's all swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to slap a bed down. That is not the direction to the beds at all. A bed, a stash, and a generator. And that should be good, I think. I'm conscious of the generator. They might get away. What I'll do is I won't wire the generator up, because I'm wondering whether the cables actually slightly get in the way of I think they might mess up with the blueprints a little bit, so I'm just going to not have the generator wired up, but it's there. And I'm going to try and put a few bits and pieces in here. Because I'm trying to actually kind of gauge specifically the parts that count as floating. And I still haven't figured out. I know stairs do. And I'm still trying to figure out the others. I've mentioned this before, but like the idea with the floating thing is I get their intent behind it. The idea being that, you know, they want things to be all connected properly, so you're not going to abuse, you know, building glitches to basically give yourself an advantage over other players in terms of PvP and things like that. And though I do get the intent behind that, I think they should massively loosen it now, because there's just no PvP going on in these worlds. It pretty much only happens in the others. But, maybe we'll see a nice little update when Wastelanders drops next year. Right, so I think that's pretty much a nice, simple thing. I want to put a actually, you know what I want to do? One thing. And I think the lights might think, where are the lights? God damn it. They're over here. There we go. Lovely. Obviously, it's not lit up because I haven't put the generator in, but that would do. Right, so let's hold, make blueprint. There we go. Very occasionally, that doesn't work. and it doesn't actually add in all the bits. So it's just worth having a crafty look around to make sure everything looks like it's connected. Last time I did it, it was missing an entire section. I got really annoyed. Just because, again, blueprints are a little bit... Yeah, that was added. Blueprints can be a little bit crafty, shall we say. So I'll put stand 01, because that's where it was before. Right. And we're just going to test to see if it places down. There we go. Yeah, look at that, see? That's grand. I think it might have been the cables, like in... I haven't got it still, have I? Okay, the old Stando one. You notice the cables aren't wired up? I think that might also count as things floating. So maybe just bear that in mind. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move bases now. Find somewhere new to set this up. And I'm going to set up my nice new pop-up base. One mo. Right, and here we are. I've got a plan. I've got plans to build here. So basically, I'm just near the starting location again. I really like this area. It's quite nice, and it's got some nice little flat areas. There's some rivers. And I quite like the idea of being near newer players, because I need to get to set up things that then they get to see. So we're going to go right here. Let's place my wee camp down right here. I've got, like, no caps left. I wasted, like, 300 caps impatiently replacing my base. So, yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing that happened. So right, let's just slap this bad boy over here. And place my blueprint down. Yay, it works. Yay. There we go. So I've got that there, like this. Jobs are good on. It just looks nice as well. I actually quite enjoyed just kind of playing around with the bits. There we go. Look at that. So there we go. Very, very simple. Nothing particularly fancy. It's just like, it's a nicer little pop-up that I can play around with. It's got basic amenities in here. I could probably even get away. Now that I've realised I think it might be the wiring, I could probably have actually maxed out the building limit with decoration. So I'm possibly going to play around with this pre-existing blueprint. Because what I can do basically is just blueprint this. Take those stairs off, obviously. Take the wires off, blueprint this again, and then just add a few decorations on, see if that works. If not, then I can take them off and kind of revert to the original blueprint. Anyway, let me know if you've done kind of small blueprinted camps. I'm always keen to see what people are doing. I want to maybe do, in the future, a few, like, kind of quick ones, but, like, not show you me building them, just kind of show you ones I've made up with. Ones, for example, like tents and things like that. One that actually looks like the Fallout First tent. I quite like the way that looks, but I'd like to make it myself just because. And then also ones the backwards bungalows and all that jazz. Anyway, as always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns. We'll have more videos up soon. If you're watching this as of the day the video drops on the 2nd, apologies for not having a week, or nearly a week and a half actually, without videos. I was in Paris for work. It was fun, however, I was busy and then exhausted, so I was like, I'll just wait till the following week and have a little bit of a rest. But we're back into it now, and as an added bonus, I have most of December off because I saved up all my holiday. So expect videos, lots of them, in fact, over the next month. I've also got a couple of non-Fallout videos planned. I've got some review keys of cool things, so look out for the future, as well as tabletop videos and lots of fun shenanigans. But until the next video, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. As always, follow me Twitter at norespawns, and you have a lovely, grand last about 28 days, 27 days of the decade. You take care.